Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Went to the doctor, got a full, clean bill of health. Everything is all right. So I thank Jehovah God. That's a huge blessing. Our wealth is in our health. So I just thank Jehovah God, for keeping me healthy. And I'm keep doing what I'm doing and exercising and trying to eat right and everything. And what I'm doing is working. So that's a blessing. I want to do Aretha Franklin's funeral recap. I want to do a recap. It's a lot of buzz going around about Franklin's funeral, about the different things that took place during her funeral. I know I winded up missing it because I take what I did was I recorded it um, because I winded up missing it because I think I was at work or something like that. Yeah, I was at work when it was being aired, so I taped it, but I heard it. It was over 4 hours long. That's what I heard. Uh, I didn't watch the. I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing from the beginning to the end. I'm kind of just like going on YouTube and I'm watching bits and pieces because I don't know if I want to sit through. I don't know if I want to sit and watch it for 3 or 4 hours straight. So I've been kind of watching bits and pieces of it on YouTube because now they got different people's like the different entertainment performers they got, and you can click on it and you can kind of get like bits and pieces of it. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. But it's a lot of buzz and a lot of people are talking about the different things that went on. First of all, I ain't never heard of a funeral that long in my whole life. I've went to a lot of funerals in my 51 years, and I ain't never seen no funeral that long in my life. That was the longest funeral. Like I said, I didn't watch it from the beginning to the end. I've been watching bits and pieces, but I have never heard of a funeral going on that long. That was a very long funeral. First of all, I thought she was really cute. I thought it was really cute how they had her in the casket. Um, because they let the public get the opportunity to view her body, which I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was wonderful. That was real generous of them to allow people to view her and everything. Because she was really big in there, big in Detroit. Because she was from Detroit, so she was, everybody loved her. Really, they, everybody loved her all over the world, but people really loved her in Detroit, and so I think that was wonderful how they gave people the opportunity to view her body and everything. And my girl, my girl was beautiful in the casket. I mean, she was divalicious in that casket. I mean, they had her. One of the first ones, she had her red on, and then she had her pumps on, and they had a little lace cross. I thought that was the cutest thing. They had a little lace cross. I said, I've never seen anybody in the casket with their lace cross before, so I thought that was so cute. And they said she loved the dress and everything, and so they said that was really reflective of her personality. And she apparently had 3 or 4 wardrobe changes throughout the viewing, and I just thought that was, I don't know about everybody else, but I thought that was kind of cool. She was looking divalicious in that casket. So I thought she looked real cute and everything. So I thought that was wonderful. It's wonderful how they gave the public the opportunity to view her. Because, when Whitney died, she had a closed casket. When Michael died, he had a closed casket. And they didn't give anybody the opportunity to look at, just, to view them and they didn't give the public an opportunity the chance to say goodbye. That gave the public an opportunity to get one last look at her and say goodbye and everything like that. So give their condolences. So I just thought that was wonderful. I thought that was wonderful how they did that. That was great. That was real generous of the family to allow that. So I commend them on that. But they was apparently talking about it was just, I don't know. I mean, I realized that she was an icon and everything, but I mean, they said you had to, if you was at the funeral, you're gonna have to pack a lunch. I would have been like, can we get dismissed for half an hour lunch break? I can go grab something to eat and come on back, and then we can continue the service. Give us a lunch break. I mean, if I was there, I would have been like, can we get a lunch break? I mean, people would have had to, people would have had to pack a lunch to be in that funeral. That thing was long. I just never heard of a funeral being that long, and a lot of important people had passed away, and um, even, I mean, I just never heard of a funeral being that long. That's a long time to sit in a funeral. I mean, they had a lot of good entertainers. Don't get me wrong, it was a very entertaining funeral because they had a lot of good entertainers in the funeral. So I mean, everybody stayed. They kept everybody entertained, but whew, that was a long time to sit. Anyway, everybody's talking about Ariana Grande, if I'm saying her name right, how she was inappropriately dressed. She performed at the funeral, and they was talking about how she was inappropriately dressed. And I've seen the performance on YouTube. I looked at her performance on YouTube, and they was talking about how the minister was up there groping her, and I seen that too. And first of all, we're gonna talk about that her outfit. That was not appropriate. I don't know. I think every celebrity, I don't know how huge she is in the entertainment industry, but I thought that, now let me know if I'm wrong. I thought that celebrities have a glam squad. They have a stylist, they have someone to do their makeup, there's someone to do their hair, and whoever was supposed to be her so-called stylist, it seems like to me they should have told her, this is a funeral, and this is not an appropriate dress. Now, had I been her stylist, I would have been like, honey, we're going to get you something closer to the knees. We're going to get you something cute, but closer to the knees. It's just not appropriate. It just wasn't appropriate. And I know now I go to the Kingdom Hall, and at the Kingdom Hall there's a dress code, and women are, the Bible says that we are to be modest in our dress. No, that's scriptural. And so, we there's a dress code, there's a protocol when we go to the hall. It's a certain way that we have to wear our dresses, and the appropriate length for, if you're going to, I know that I went to, I used to go to the worldly churches as well back in the day, and I know anything, because I know like when I first got started going to the Kingdom Hall, I didn't have a lot of modest dresses and stuff. I had a lot of worldly dresses, with high slits, and I had some high skirts, and not that I had never really dressed provocatively, but it's like certain things that you can wear in a regular church, you can't wear at the Kingdom Hall. Like you can't wear dresses with really high skirt slits and really high skirts. The appropriate length for a dress or a skirt is slightly above the knee. Anything anything you shouldn't show your thighs. If you go into a church service, if you're going to wear a skirt or a dress, you should not show your thighs. Not at all. Your thighs should not be showing at all. Knee length or a little above the knee. That's appropriate for particularly a funeral. When you go into a funeral, that's just not appropriate for a funeral. I've seen her performance, and I was like, whoever her stylist was, they should have told her that that was not appropriate. Her skirt was way too high. If she had a bent over, you would have seen her, you know what. And so I looked at that. I said, not to talk about it, but I said that's just not appropriate. It just wasn't appropriate for a funeral. And she should have definitely been more modest in her dress. And now as far as the minister, I seen that too. Uh, First of all, I didn't think it was. Why was it even appropriate for him to even hug her at all? I mean, he could have stood there and talked to her without putting his hand around her. He didn't have to put his hand around her. He could have just stood beside her and talked to her, or he even could have shook her hand. Shaking her hand would have been probably more appropriate. But he didn't necessarily have to hug her. And I don't think he intentionally grabbed her breast. I kind of seen it, and it looks like he did grab her breast, but I don't think he intentionally grabbed her breast. But it was during the process of him, and she seems like she's a really really tiny girl. She seems like she's a really tiny girl. So I could see how it would be easy for him to make that mistake. but at the same time, he just should have been mindful as a minister and as a man. And now we're in the Me Too movement. He should have been a little bit more mindful of that situation. I think that he should have thought about it, and he should have just kind of stood beside her and talked to her, could have shook her hand. That would have been more appropriate because everybody, oh my God, he's under fire. I don't know what his name is, but he's under fire because they saying he was inappropriately groping her, and I've seen it too, and it does look like he was grabbing her breast. So that just wasn't appropriate. She did seem to appear to be a bit uncomfortable and everything, and like I said, I don't think he intentionally did it, but then again, I could be wrong. But he should have definitely handled that in another different. And they saying that he's under fire from because he said that he seen her name on the program. He thought it was some kind of a menu selection at Taco Bell. So he was making a joke. So everybody's upset because he was joking about her name, and then they thought that was being racially insensitive. And so we live in a time we have to be really careful about what we say and everything, especially as far as race, because race is a very sensitive issue. So he's under fire for those. His everybody, everything has a season. It's gonna die down. But yeah, he just have to think about next time. How to handle himself. And it's a learning experience for him and everything. But anyway, I thought there was some great performances. I thought that Fantasia did a wonderful job. I think Fantasia has a beautiful voice. She can sing, and she does have a beautiful voice. But sometimes I think she can be a little bit over the top. Maybe it's just me, but I think sometimes she can be a little bit over the top because she has a beautiful voice, and she doesn't need to do that. You know, um, Fantasia has a beautiful voice. She doesn't need to go. She doesn't need to do all that. In my opinion, she doesn't need to do all that. She didn't get too bad, but sometimes she can get carried away. And I just think that she's got a beautiful voice and she doesn't have to do all that. It's just not necessary. I mean, hey, if you got talent, you don't need a gimmick. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to do no extra stuff if you got real talent. She's got real talent, so she's a beautiful singer. So she doesn't really have to go over the top like that. Maybe that's a part of her style. I don't know, but I don't know. Just a little constructive criticism. And but I thought she did a wonderful. She did other than that, she did a beautiful job. Jennifer Hudson did a beautiful job. Aretha said in a couple of her interviews that well, she was talking about her biopic, and she was talking about possible actresses that can play her, and she said that she wouldn't mind Jennifer Hudson playing her. So I think Jennifer Hudson's going to wind up playing her in a biopic. So me personally, I think Queen Latifah would have been a good selection because Queen Latifah is, I guess, because when I think of Queen Latifah, she's more closer to her skin complexion, and she's more built like Aretha is. I guess I'm thinking about her skin complexion and her build, and but she said in the interview, she kind of threw some shade when the interviewer, if you guys seen that interview when they were asking about possible actresses to play her, and they said Queen Latifah, she was like no, so she didn't want Queen Latifah to play her, but I think Queen Latifah would be a beautiful choice. I think she can. I don't think she thinks Queen Latifah can sing, but I think Queen Latifah got a beautiful voice. I think she could pull it off. And she's a great actress. She's a wonderful actress. She's got a good voice. Um, I think she could pull it off, but apparently Aretha didn't feel that way. So, not saying I'm not throwing Jennifer Hudson no shade because I think Jennifer Hudson has a beautiful voice and yeah, and I think she's a great actress, so she'll probably pull it off. Most likely 9 times out of 10, she could pull it off. I was thinking more like Queen Latifah because Queen Latifah is built more like Aretha Franklin. She's built like Aretha Franklin, and she has closer. Her skin complexion is closer to Aretha Franklin. So that's the only thing I was saying. Um, Anyway, I guess my opinion doesn't count, but I'm just saying. Just saying. But I think Jennifer will do a beautiful job. I think Jennifer will do her justice, and that's who she wanted. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that. And so, but they were talking about this one minister. He came on and he was talking about different things that are going on in the black community. They thought that wasn't appropriate, for him to bring those things up. But um, hey, It was a lot of black people that were looking at the funeral. It was a lot of black people that were there. So he did get the message across. So I mean, he got in trouble for that. So all in all, I think it was a wonderful funeral. I mean, it was very long. I thought it was a little too long. But like I said, I taped it, but I didn't watch it from the beginning to the end. But I just kind of been going on YouTube watching bits and pieces, and that's what I've been doing. So I don't have to sit through the whole thing from beginning to the end. So, but I think I taped it off of BET, and BET apparently they say it went longer than what BET got. I don't know. I didn't watch it from the beginning to the end. So let me know in the comment section. You guys watch it, what you thought about it. You watched the funeral. Did you watch bits and pieces of it like I did? Let me know what you thought of it. But I think she definitely had a beautiful service. Um, they definitely did her justice and everything. And then they was talking about her gold casket. Why she got a gold casket? Because she was Aretha Franklin and she had the money to pay for a gold casket. So there's nothing wrong with that. She had the money to pay for it. You know, me personally, um, I'm gonna instruct my children to. I don't want anything fancy. And keep it modest. Um, because the less money being spent, the more out funds that they have. So me personally, I don't want anything flashy. Even if I was rich, I wouldn't want anything flashy. I just want to keep it simple. But that's me. But she was Aretha Franklin. She was a diva. It was a funeral fit for a diva. So the gold casket was appropriate. People just people are messy. People just be talking about everything. And what I didn't like the fact that they hadn't even before they even had the funeral service, they were trash talking Aretha. I mean, I'm not even going to repeat some of the things that was being said, but if you guys read the news or read whatever the blogs, you know what was being said, and I just don't think that's right. People just trash talking her. I just hate it when people talk trash about celebrities after they die. I just think it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the family. Very disrespectful to the family. Very disrespectful to the family, and she don't deserve that. Um, I just hate it when people do that. They trash talk celebrities after they're dead. Just let it go. Let it go. Whatever. Some people want to take some secrets to the grave. I got some secrets that I like to take to my grave. I don't want it. I wouldn't want it to be plastered all over the place. Some people want to take some secrets to the grave. They might not want everybody knowing everything, and they deserve to take some things to the grave. Everybody don't need to know everything. So I got some secrets that I like to take to my grave. So I just think that's disrespectful. She did have loved ones, and she did have people in her family that loved her. She had sons, she had grandchildren, and they loved her very much. And I just think that's disrespectful and insensitive to the family to talk trash about Aretha Franklin, because yeah, to us she was an icon. She was the queen of soul, but to her family she was a mother. She was a grandmother. That's who she was to her family, and they loved her dearly. And so it's disrespectful to the family when you trash talk celebrities. Like, people are coming out now, talking about Whitney Houston, and I'm not e- I'm not even going into all that. Some of the things that some things that were rumored about her while when she was alive. And it's coming to everybody coming out trying to talk about it now. It's just ridiculous. I mean, let it rest. Let the woman rest in peace. Whatever it was that she did in her lifetime, that was her business. And it's not it's not everybody's business. I mean, just because these celebrities are in the public eye doesn't mean that we have to know every aspect of their life. We don't have to know every aspect of their life. Just because people think that just because celebrities are in the public eye, then they have the right to know every aspect of their life. And that's not true. You don't have to know every aspect of their life just because they was in the public eye. You know, some things are just private, and it should stay that way. And if they're passed away and they're deceased, let some of them secrets go to the grave. You know, you don't need the dish out dirty laundry at this point. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody doing. I wouldn't want nobody doing me like that. I want to take some of my secrets to the grave, buried with me. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comment section. I'm just giving a little bit of a recap. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Aretha Franklin's funeral. I got some more interesting topics coming up. This is Sweet Year.